behind me is one sheet of 4x8 maple plywood. And I want to make something with it. But it's boring to do it alone, so I've challenged Boondock Builds to a one sheet of plywood challenge.
Jamie, I'm challenging you to a one sheet of plywood build-off.
The rules for this challenge are simple. We've got a 4x8 by 3/4 inch thick piece of maple plywood, and we gotta build something with it. You do not have to use the full sheet of plywood, but you do have to only use plywood. Nothing else. You can't use dowels, you can't use any other type of wood, just the plywood. You can use screws, nails, glue, anything like that, accessories, hooks, whatever, magnets, but the only wood is this plywood. There's no time limit, and that's pretty much it. We're making something, Boondocks is making something.
What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Boondock Builds.
Go check out Boondock Builds. His video will have mostly his perspective of his build, what he's doing. But we are gonna check in on him here in this video, here and there, and then vice versa for his video. So make sure you watch both of them. And then at the end of the video, we're gonna ask you guys to vote. Vote in the comments. All you have to do is write either Fish Over Chicks Woodworking or Boondock Builds. That's how you decide who wins. And in like a week or so, we'll tally them all up and we'll see who wins. But I think without further ado, let's get into it. The main thing about building with plywood that I don't love is seeing the end grain. Just cause it doesn't look as well, you know, you wanna see this face grain usually. But then I got to thinking, what if the build was centered around the end grain? That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be an end grain plywood challenge. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take this over to the table saw. Okay, I'm basically just gonna need you to like help hold right here. Okay. And I'm gonna cut one piece that is 20 inches wide all the way down it. That'll leave us with another piece that is 28 inches wide, 96 inches long. Once we do that, we can get into the fun part. So now I've got that 20-inch wide by 96-inch long piece of wood. I'm gonna cut it in half just so I can work with it a little bit easier on the table saw. And now I'm going to get strips. So I wanna get 2-inch strips out of this that will end up being 2 inches wide, 20 inches long, and then 3/4 inch thick, obviously. I'm gonna end up with about 40 to 48 of these. I haven't decided yet, but I think since I'm gonna have to account for the blade width, I think I'm gonna cut each of these pieces to like 1.8 inches, maybe 1.9. So the goal for this is once I've got all those cut, I'm gonna sandwich them all together so the end grain is sticking up. And yeah, I think it'll look nice, kind of like an end grain butcher block cutting board. All right, here they are. We got exactly 48 of them, which is exactly what we were hoping, because I ended up cutting them at 1 7/8 inches. There was a little bit left over that we threw in the scrap bin, but they were not full 1 7/8 inch pieces. So we got 48 of those. So now let me show you what I'm thinking it's gonna look like. That was loud. And that'll be our top. So now that I have all of these cut, I'm gonna do 2 glue ups here. I'm gonna glue half of them together, just like I was doing cutting board. Gonna make sure I got a lot of cauls on there so it's flat as can be. This end grain is not something I can run through the planer. I don't really wanna do a whole surfacing thing with the router, so I'm gonna use a lot of cauls, do this glue up in 2 sections, and then we're gonna glue all those together in the end, and that'll be our final top board. All right, here it is. So we glued up 25 of these. Which means there's 23 left, and this is a heck of a gluing up situation here. We used pretty much all the clamps. We've got like 5 left, I think. So I think we're gonna try to do the other one now. We've already put some glue on a couple of them, so we'll see. We're gonna put this on the ground. We're gonna let it dry for overnight probably. We really want this glue to solidify. How's the bottom look?
Not that bad.
No? All right, great. We're just gonna put, all right, good. So these are all gluing up in 2 separate parts. We're gonna let them dry, come back, put them together a little bit later. But for now, let's check in with Boondock Builds, see what's going on over there.
So let me show you guys what I'm thinking real quick. So this is a little off. We're gonna have actually 3 cabinets here in the middle, but it's gonna be a total of 5 foot long by 2 foot tall. The 3 cabinets in the middle are gonna be 1 foot. Can Peter do this? I'm kidding. But even though I am pretty good at cutting a straight line with a skill saw, I've cut everything about 1/8 of an inch too thick, so I'm gonna run this to the table saw just to make sure everything's nice and straight.
This might be one of those situations where it would have been smarter to wait until that one was glued up, but we didn't. We used the remainder of the clamps that were big enough. It was 3. No calls on it, just 3 clamps. We'll see. We were just saying that everything is going so well in this project so far, like no hiccups. But this does not have to be a hiccup. I think it'll be okay. Let's start working on the legs while these glue up. We're gonna make the legs 20 inches long to start because we're gonna cut some more off later, so we don't need to figure out exactly the length right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our remainder. We've got a lot of wood left. I didn't realize this would take up so little wood. Maybe we could build 2. We're not building 2. This is a lot of work. Anything to beat Boondocks. We're gonna run this through the table saw 4 times, getting a 96-inch long piece that's 1 7/8 inches thick, and then we'll cut it all down because we'll be able to get 4 of those 20-inch cuts from one of these slits. And now that we've got all those cut out, we're gonna glue these all up. So what we're doing is we're gonna take 4 of them, we're gonna glue them all up, and we're just gluing up a little rectangle, and each one of these will be the legs. Obviously, we've got some more work to do on these later, but we have to wait for them to glue up first. So we're gonna go play a round of golf because we just did a lot of work. We haven't, it's been like an hour and a half, but we wanna play golf. We'll come back to you when it's time for the next steps.
Okay, so here's our cut list so far for what we have on the cabinets. We have 4 cut down to 24 inches long, we have 10 cut down to 10 inches long, and then 2 at 36. And these boys better look out because I can tell you exactly who I'm betting on winning this thing. Not them, me. No, me. No. Like, I don't even like those guys. Why would I want them to win?
Bruh.
I don't know how anyone could think I want them to win.
All right, guys. Here it is. Everything is glued up and dry. Quick update on the golf game. I destroyed John. I beat him by 12 strokes. I did not have a good game, but boy, did he have a bad game. Anyways, now that I can enjoy my victory for the rest of the night, we're gonna keep building. This little one, this one with the little clamps here, we ran out of clamps, so little ones it was, but turned out fine. We are going to set these aside for a second before we keep working on them because we have to get these 2 big pieces glued together. Here are the tops, and they look pretty good, and the glue up went pretty dang well. So now we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna lay them down and get any little pieces of glue sticking up, just gonna chisel that off. So what we're gonna do is just gonna lay them down on the table. We're gonna put a healthy amount of glue on one of the faces, push them together, use our 4 long clamps, clamp them together. Yeah, just put it up like this somewhere. How heavy is that?
Heavy.
So we want to cut these legs so they are a diagonal. And now I'm realizing if we cut them at a diagonal here and here, we'll have 2 legs. So we'll have 8 legs. Should we make an 8-legged coffee table? Yo.
A spider coffee table?
That would be sick. What I'm thinking to do for these legs to make them diagonal is you go 3/4 inches in from each side, which is nice because that's one of the pieces of plywood. So if you can decipher where the plywood meets, like I can tell, it's right here. I'll make a mark here. 3/4 inches in from this side, then 3/4 inches up from this side. Make a mark. Grab a straight edge, line those 2 lines up to each other, and then go ahead and make your line. What we're gonna do is we're gonna line this up to that diagonal line we just made. Screw them in. Now go ahead, set your rip fence the same width away as your pieces, then just go ahead, run it all the way through. Here we have it, and look at that grain. That is wild. That is so cool. Just not what I was expecting, but it makes perfect sense. So now we just gotta unscrew this from this. 2 perfectly symmetrical legs. So now we just need to do that one more time, and if we mess up 2 times, that's fine, because we've got 2 extra boards. All right, before we keep working on the legs, I'm gonna give Jamie a call and see where he's at. I'm curious. All right. It is a few days later. This top has been gluing for a long time, probably 48 hours, if not more. I believe that Jamie from Boondock Builds will be calling us any minute to, oh my gosh, that thing's heavy. See how it's going? All right, so that's gonna be the back side, and then that is going to be the top side. We wanted this cool end grain here to be on the outside, so I put a 10-degree angle here, 10-degree angle on the bottom, and then from the bottom here to up here is 16 inches, which is perfect because this table is about 2 inches wide. So it'll sit right there, be an 18-inch table. All right, Jamie wants me to give him a quick call.
Hey, what's up, bud?
How's it going?
I am finished with mine. All the cuts, I just got to put it together.
You're all done.
No, he's got to put it together. Wow, okay, all right.
Got to put it together.
It's a lot of cuts, I'm warning you.
A lot of cuts, okay. We got a lot of cuts too. I think we have, I can't tell you, but we have a lot. What if we're doing the same project?
That'd be kind of crazy.
You ain't making a wooden bowl out of plywood, are you?
No comment.
I'm messing.
I just wanted to check in, see how you guys are doing, so.
Yeah, we'll be done in the next few hours here, and then a quick round of golf. So, good luck to you, my friend.
I'm going fishing this afternoon myself. So.
All right, there you go. All right, so we've got a couple more of these 2-inch strips left over from when we cut the legs. So what we did is we took 2 of these and we cut them down to these 4-inch long blocks. So they're 4 inch by 1 7/8, right? So then what we're gonna do, we're gonna put our leg here. We're going to glue this piece and screw it from the top. I know it's going in the end grain, but it's what we got. We're gonna screw it in there. Then we're going to attach these here at an angle on the bottom. But we don't want this plywood to be seen, so we're going to route out a slot for that to go in, which will look super cool and be tricky, but I'm up for the challenge. Let's do it. But before we do that, almost forgot, we got to round all these over. So just doing these 4 sides, not doing the bottom, not doing the top here. I'm not gonna show you that. That's what we're kind of going for. I mean, obviously not this, but this on there. So now for the part that I know is gonna take the longest. We have to sand everything. John got started on the top. We gotta sand the top, the bottom, sand these legs down, and then once we've sanded this top, then we're gonna square it up. So let's get to sanding. So after we're done sanding, we're just going ahead and we're taking that edge off one side first because, like we said, we gotta square it up. Since our board is almost 2 inches thick, the circular side does not go all the way through. So we put a straight edge on, we cut that straight line, and we had about 3/8 of an inch left, I'd guess. So we went ahead with the handsaw, $60 Etsy coaster, and saw the rest of that off. But when doing the handsaw, that left a little bit left that we had to take off with the flush trim bit on the router. That gave us a flat edge to put on the table saw, and this thing is heavy. This was not an easy task to do on the table saw, and I probably would not do it again. I'd probably go circular saw and handsaw again over the table saw, because that was a lot. This thing is heavy. All right, so we flipped it over. We got the bottom side facing us. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find a straight edge. We're gonna put it to each corner of our board. Then we're gonna make a line all the way through. Do that on the opposite side as well. All right, so now we've got a big X on the bottom of our tabletop. So the next thing we need to do is find the center of these 4 pieces on the plywood here. So it's 1 7/8 inches across, which means it is 15/16 in the center there. So go ahead and make that mark on all of them. And then flip them all around, and you're gonna wanna do that on the bottom of them as well. Now you've got the middle marked on this side and on this side on the bottom of your piece. And now you can simply go ahead and line up that line on both sides to this bigger line. So we're gonna place these down 5 inches away from the corner. So what we're gonna do is on all of the corners on that line we made, we're going to measure 5 inches and then make a mark. All right, so this next part is going to be a little tricky. So I'm gonna show you on one, kind of talk you through it, but if you want a whole video on how to do this, let us know. But we're gonna do it with this one to sink it in. So we've got this lined up perfectly. And now what we're gonna do is gonna take some scrap piece of ply, again, 3/4 inches. And you're gonna place it all around this piece, and you're gonna tape all of these down, take your leg out, and now you have your section that you can route out with the flush trim bit on the router. And we're gonna be using a bull bit because that's what we have that'll work good for this. And you're gonna go 3/4 inches deep into the wood because this is 3/4 inches thick. We're just gonna show me doing one of them, and you can assume we did that for the rest of them. I just realized I can take a ton of material off taking the Forstner bit to it first and just hollowing it out a little bit. As long as I'm not going more than 3/4 inches deep, this will make routing much easier. Jeez. See how it fits. I give up.
Boondock's
You win.
just gotta win.
You win, man. I can't get the last piece off. Thank you, John.
I took a chunk out of my finger.
Yeah, no, it hurts.
Like a for real chunk out of there. Focus.
All right, Boondock wins if he didn't draw blood. First try.
Look at that.
All right, pretty good. There's a tiny bit left, but that's fine. We don't need the template anymore. If we want to route more, we can just go ahead and use these and the flush trim bits. So yeah, that's it. We'll go ahead and we'll glue that and we'll screw that in once we're done with the other ones. So we'll do all the other ones, then we'll come back to you and show you the satisfying part. A lot of work ahead of us.
All right, guys, so we are almost done. Hang tight. So we got our 10-inch piece, and we've got our 6-inch piece right here. So what I'm going to do, lost my dang pencil again. I really should have took my speed square and drew a line across this before I put this piece on there. But it's all good. We're going to let that dry a little bit and do it after.
Okay, an hour later, I've done it. Maybe more than an hour. I don't know. That took so long. But they are all ready. So let's go ahead with the dry run. Okay. Let's flip it. Got it?
All right.
Right. Okay, one of them fell. Two of them fell.
This was...
All right, flip it back over.
I think it looks good.
Right, does it?
I'm pretty sure. Looks good from over here.
Time to glue them all in. All right, guys, it is the next day, and here it is. We flipped it over. I'll show you the legs real quick. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. So, as you can see, they're routed in there, which was really cool. I was very excited to do that. And we just glued them, we placed them in, and then we just kind of left. I guess we forgot to screw or brad nail them in, but honestly, I don't think it needs it. Let's poly it.
So I went to Lowe's and got these really nice hooks. I feel like that's gonna look really good on our piece here. The problem with it is the screws that came with it for the mountain hardware are way too long. That's gonna go right through our board here. So I grabbed some Harbor Freight screws. Good to go.
Guys, here it is. This, I mean, with the poly, the thing looks awesome. I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but we'll do some tight shots so you guys can check this thing out. I am so pleased with it. I mean, the end grain is sick. I wasn't sure how it was gonna come out. This is just one coat of poly. I am gonna do some more poly afterwards, but this is all we need to show you in the video. I think we're gonna use it at the apartment for a little bit and then sell it. So that's it for the build, but now I get to see what Jamie built. I just got off the phone with him. He sent me a photo of what he built. So this is the first time. I have no idea what he's building. All I know is he's got a little bit of plywood left and he still needs to paint it, but I'm gonna look at it, give my honest reaction. First time, here we go. Oh, okay. Dang, that's pretty good. That's a lot of right angles that look perfect. I think he might have me beat. Yeah, he's got some metal on it too. That's why he asked if he could use some metal accessories. I think this is gonna be a tight race. Leave your comments below who you think won, but I'm not gonna show you the photo because you gotta go watch his video. We'll put a link in the description. You gotta go watch his video, Jamie over at Boondock Builds, to see what he made. Just go ahead and in my comments and in his comments, write either Fish Over Chicks Woodworking or Boondock Builds. And don't write Boondock Builds just because it's shorter to write, just because it's way easier to write 2 words than 4. Don't do that. Look at both of them. But that's gonna do it, guys. Make sure you comment below who wins so we can figure that out. We'll post on our community page about a week who wins. But please, go check out Jamie's video, because if you don't, you can't comment on who wins. So that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.